joined now by Andy Byrne from the committee of Hammers United. Andy was one of those who spoke passionately to the thousands of supporters that turned up outside the Olympic Stadium today for the latest Hammers United protest. Andy, your immediate thoughts about how it went today?
Really pleased, really pleased. We were very nervous in the build up to this. Any number of things, you know, that could have gone wrong, from the weather to the trains, to whether we'd be able to manage the crossing at Stratford High Street, to whether we'd get any more than a few hundred people here. So all in all, we think it's an absolutely fantastic day, and it just shows what can be achieved when people come together.
There was talk before of thousands of people attending, but were you still pleasantly surprised that, given the circumstances that you just described, the fact that the weather was meant to be dreadful, the trains were all up the creek, were you happy with the numbers you got?
Really happy, yeah, really happy. I mean, there was conservative efforts before, people saying, oh, we think there'll be a few thousand there, but you never like to let yourself believe that might actually happen. And when you're caught up in the middle of it and you're speaking to people every day about what's happening, you don't necessarily get a sense of how, like, the wider fan base is receiving the messaging that you're putting across. So to see so many people here and so many people from so many press outlets here as well was absolutely fantastic. It makes all the hard work worthwhile. And also good to have a decent PA today. Decent PA. I have to say thank you to Pinky for that. He stepped up. He's kindly bought that out of his own money, and he said that he will be donating it to a school for them to use when we are done with it. So yeah, it was absolutely fantastic to have something that people could hear us on.
Are we going to see you back on these at Mother Brown a bit later to tell everyone about your day?
I don't know. I might be off social media. I might be off social media this evening. I was going to say I'll spend a bit of time with my wife, but I think I'm going to go out after the game. So probably back online tomorrow for me, I would say. Yeah, it's been draining these last few weeks leading up to it. So perhaps a little bit of time out this evening, and then get back on, crack on tomorrow, and get Gold, Brady and Sullivan out of our club.
One more question before you go off and have that very well deserved drink. What's next for Hammers United?
Well, Hammers United are working on two fronts now. So we have to keep working on the public front, on the protests. We have to keep up the momentum, and we have to keep the messaging out there in the press. But there is a lot of work going on behind closed doors at Hammers United as well. So the end game for us is obviously Gold, Brady and Sullivan leaving the club. But we want an end game where supporters have part ownership of this club. An independent supporters group needs to have some say, needs to be sitting in that boardroom, needs to make sure that nothing like this can ever happen again, and needs to make sure that we claw back any sense of community that we possibly can. So we're working tirelessly both on the public front but also behind the scenes to make sure that we can put something together that actually lasts long after these protests and long after Gold, Brady and Sullivan are gone.
Fantastic. Andy Byrne, thanks for your time.
No problem, thank you.